Hate watching is defined as watching something for the sake of the enjoyment derived from mocking or criticizing it. We are all guilty of hate watching. As humans, we can't help but want to do things we know we won't like, just so that we can complain. I, of course, am no exception to this rule, because I haven't just been hate watching a particular anime. I have been hate reading the manga for nearly 3 years. And that manga is Kanojo Okurishimasu, or Rent a Girlfriend. I despise this series so much. Kazuya sucks as a main character. The manga has been dragging on forever. Every week I read the new chapter and I get so angry. But why do I do this to myself? I watched season 2 and I'm gonna watch season 3. Why do I put so much time into this series when I don't even like it? Heck, why do I own this shirt? But hasn't always been this way. I mean, the only reason why I started reading the manga was because I wanted to know how the series was going to end. And I didn't think it was going to get a second season. Well, not only did it get a second season, but I got a third one too. And I still don't know how it ends. But enough about that. Because I want to go back to the first anime season I ever tuned in to watch. And my favorite. That is summer 2020. So, let's go back and see if we can find out why Rent a Girlfriend got so popular. Welcome to summer 2020. Like I said, this was my first anime season I watched seasonal anime. And when you look at the lineup compared to my top 10, you can see why I was hyped for this season. Origairu Season 3 and Food Wars The Fifth Plate. 2 of my favorite shows airing their final seasons at the same time. Don't mind if I do. But it is here that we see another show that was airing. Rent a Girlfriend. Written by my mortal enemy, Reiji Miyajima, the manga was first serialized in July 2017 in Kodansha's weekly shonen magazine. And the manga is still ongoing to this day. Season 1 of the anime first aired from July to October in 2020, and then 2 years later in 2022, Season 2 aired, and just 1 year after that, a third season is upon us. But for the manga to have a 6-year run, and for it to have an anime with a minimum of 3 seasons, that means that despite all my complaining, this show has to be pretty popular. And if it is, how did we get here? Well, I would describe Rent a Girlfriend as lightning in a bottle. Something where just the right circumstances had to happen to give it the perfect window to get popular. We'll start with the year 2020. You all remember that one, right? Well, due to the global health crisis, all of the anime that were supposed to come out earlier that year got delayed. Either to later that year or delayed to the next year entirely. I mean, just look at spring. You were watching Kaguya-sama, and what? Same goes for summer. There were slim pickings. Besides the 2 that I mentioned earlier, you had ReZero Season 2, Uzaki-chan, and SAO Eliticization. Ooh, buddy, sign me up. So, if there isn't a lot to choose from, then you'd watch anything. And it helped that that show had a really over-the-top title. Something like Rent a Girlfriend. Rent a Girlfriend's plot is basically what it says on the tin. We follow our main boy, Kazuya Kinishida, who has just been dumped by his girlfriend. He falls into a deep depression over this, and at his most desperate moment, downloads an app that allows him to rent a girlfriend. Roll credits. This girlfriend is Chizuru Mizuhara. Kazuya and Mizuhara's relationship is founded on business. When Kazuya wants to go on a date, he will book a time to go on said date through the app. Mizuhara will show up at the location, and Kazuya will pay her, and they will have their date. Sounds crazy, right? Well, this is actually based on a real business model in Japan.
These real-world rental girlfriends are surprisingly very similar to what we see in the series. Money and other gifts are exchanged for dates and companionship. Seems pretty cool. Instead of worrying about whether someone you are going out with likes you or what to say, you can just relax and socialize with someone and just have fun. But you don't really know this person. It's not like you can just interact in day-to-day life having this relationship. It would be awkward if, after going on a date or two, you realize that you went to the same college and even live next to each other. That would be awkward and slightly problematic. So what do you think happens in Rent? And the forcing of these two to spend more personal time together does not stop there, because we find out that Kazuya's grandmother knows Chizuru's grandmother. And Chizuru, not wanting to upset her grandmother, decides to go along with the lie and say that her and Kazuya are actually involved. As you can see, there is a lot of drama in Rent-A-Girlfriend, which is accomplished through this web of lies that these two are spinning, but also because of Kazuya's bitchy ex-mommy. And add to the fact that this high schooler, Ruka, decides to make herself Kazuya's probational girlfriend, whatever that means, you get a romance with a lot of harem elements and drama.
So, that's the plot. Seems like something that would grab the attention of a lot of viewers. But my lightning in a bottle theory goes deeper than that. Because if you take the setting of mid-2020 and add to that a male character who spends a lot of money on a girl who he is barely involved with, you get a simp. My theory as to why Rent-A-Girlfriend is so popular is because Kazuya was a simp when being a simp was the funniest thing you could be. Now, simp as a meme peaked around April, but it was still holding on by a thread into summer. And in fact, I still see members of the community calling Kazuya a simp to this day. So, this, in tandem with the title, propelled Rent-A-Girlfriend to the top of everyone's radar. Or, at least that's what I think. But that all seems like it would just get people to watch the first episode, not the whole series, and heck, I went into the manga for this one. There has to be more to it than just a joke of a main character. Well, there is. See, all of my complaining at the beginning of this video has to do with where the manga is now. But at the time, Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 1 was actually a pretty good anime. It had really good, well-written characters and a good amount of drama, which is exactly what you need for a harem anime.
Let's start our character section by finishing off our discussion on Kazuya. As I said, Kazuya gives a lot of his money to Chizuru, meaning he is a bit on the obsessive side. In fact, he isn't just obsessed with Chizuru, he is also obsessed with his ex-girlfriend Mami. In fact, it takes no time at all for Mami to get Kazuya wrapped around her finger again, just by giving him a little attention. Kazuya also defended her while she was actively insulting him. This man is spineless, yet he does have a good heart like most romance protagonists do. We can see this when Kazuya saves Mizuhara when she falls off the boat during the beach episode, and when he was doing everything he could to cheer up Ruka. We'll get to her. But Kazuya is actually a really creepy and pathetic character, and he actually will keep this trait for longer than he should. There are two moments that show why Kazuya is the scum of the earth. The first moment is the moment where Kazuya first realizes he has feelings for Chizuru. This is such an important moment in other romance anime. The moment where the main character falls in love with the heroine is always important and oftentimes a beautiful scene. So, what is this scene like in Rent-A-Girlfriend? Kazuya was jacking off thinking about Mami, and then he started thinking about Mizuhara, and he nutted thinking about her. I am dead serious. And it isn't even implied masturbation either. It is very clear what is going on. But that's just the first moment. What's the next one? Kazuya sees Mizuhara with a guy, and then he stalks her to figure out who he is. This guy sucks. Don't do this. Don't be like Kazuya.
Also, quick side note, that guy that Mizuhara was with, his name is Umi, which is the Japanese word for ocean. But when I first watched the show, I mistook it for uni, which is the word for sea urchin. So I I've been calling this guy Urchin Boy for the past 3 years. I know that doesn't make sense as a nickname, and I know what his name is now, but it's what I call him, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Anyway, Kazuya sucks as a main character, but that's fine because harems aren't about the main boy anyway. They're about the waifus, so let's talk about them.
We'll start with Mizuhara, whose name isn't actually Mizuhara. It's Chizuru Ichinose. Mizuhara is the name she calls herself when she is working, but it's what Kazuya calls her exclusively through the series, so it's what I will be calling her. Mizuhara is working as a rental girlfriend to pay her way through acting school, and also actual college as well, which is why she doesn't have any money. There's one part in the story before we find out that Mizuhara was going to acting school, where Kazuya and her have to share a hotel room together, and Mizuhara suggests just buying another room, and Kazuya says, I don't have any money. And then Mizuhara says, I don't either. Which, hold on, how do you not have any money? I know why Kazuya's broke. He spent all of his money to rent you, but then how come you don't have any money? And then we find out about the acting school. Mizuhara is definitely a one-note character in Season 1, but as the series progresses, we find out a bit about her backstory. Mizuhara as a girlfriend, and when she interacts with Kazuya, puts on a facade of being perfect, which is what makes her a little boring. But as the layers get pulled back, we see that she was raised by her grandparents, and she was very different growing up. But as her backstory unfolds, we see the shield break and find that she isn't as strong as she lets on. This allows Kazuya to step up in certain moments and show off his positive traits, and to prove that he actually does care for Mizuhara. Mizuhara is a great main girl. She has a personality that is easy to like because that's her character. Also, it helps that she is fairly attractive too. The anime does a great job of giving Mizuhara, and all the girls for that matter, a sense of style by having them change clothes frequently. Even Kazuya has different shirts that he wears. Making Mizuhara look good in different outfits makes her stand out when she is in girlfriend mode, which sells how good looking she is. But to contrast this, when we see her at home, she is in a more casual attire. She wears pink Crocs at one point.
What are those?
These two styles help enforce the point that Mizuhara is hiding her true self. But Kazuya is still able to get a glimpse since they live so close. Speaking of attractive girls from this series, let's talk about the villain of the series, Mami. Mami is the most hated character in this series, which is not a bad thing because Mami is meant to be the villain. She is very conniving and also two-faced. We see this on full display during the beach episode. Mami broke up with Kazuya at the start of the series, but here she's trying to get back with him. She even kisses him behind the rocks. Why would she do this? Because he has a new and hotter girlfriend. So the logical conclusion is that Mami has to break them up. Obviously. Mami also makes mean tweets about the other characters without their knowledge. Add to that, her insulting Kazuya to his face in front of his new girlfriend the second she meets her is a bitch move, which is why many hate Mami Nanami. I actually think Mami being a great villain is another reason that this show gained attraction. Giving the people something that they can all get behind is a great way to get discussion about your series. Mami plays a super direct role in messing up Kazuya and Chizuru's relationship in Season 1, even finding out that Mizuhara is actually a rental. But in Season 2, Mami is a looming threat that could strike at any time.
I love Mami. As a character and as a villain, she'd suck if she were a real person. Although, I would be lying if I said I didn't think she was the hottest of the four girls. And some of the scary faces she makes are kind of attractive. And I do like that little jump she does when she's zipping up her hoodie when she sees Mizuhara in the swimsuit. That was funny and cute. And speaking of the beach episode, Mami did look really hot there. Where was I? Oh, right. The characters. Ruka's next.
Ruka is a bit of an annoyance throughout the series, especially in her introduction. As I briefly mentioned earlier, Ruka shows up and immediately declares herself Kazuya's girlfriend, which is not how that works, but okay. We learn why she does this through her backstory, and it is actually kind of sad. Ruka suffers from what I am diagnosing as bradycardia. Bradycardia is a heart disease that causes you to have a slower heartbeat than normal. Ruka has had it since birth, and it makes her feel alienated from others. We see that she doesn't get excited the same way that other people do, where their heart will beat really fast. So she decides to try and force it by being a rental girlfriend. She thinks that if she can find love, then her heartbeat will speed up. This doesn't work until she meets Kazuya. Kazuya, for some reason, is the man that Ruka has been looking for, which is why she is so persistent to get Kazuya to like her, and why she wants Chizuru out of the way so badly. That's all well and good, but man, Ruka really becomes a homewrecker. She sleeps over at Kazuya's place, makes Mizuhara think that she did it with Kazuya, steals a kiss from him, literally a mommy move by the way, and just inserts herself into every possible scenario, proudly exclaiming, "I am Kazuya's girlfriend." Which is a problem because everyone thinks that Chizuru is Kazuya's girlfriend. Needless to say, Ruka is not my favorite. The only saving grace is that I love her voice actress, Toyama Nao. We have the same birthday. Sumi is a treat. She is super shy and really cute. She is also a rental girlfriend, like Mizuhara. However, because she is so shy, she isn't great at it. So, Chizuru asks Kazuya to help her. Sumi is very appreciative of Kazuya and even develops a small crush on him. The dates we see between the two are always really sweet and wholesome because Sumi is so pure. Well, there is this one part where the two go fishing and Kazuya cuts his finger, so Sumi takes it upon herself to suck his finger to, I don't know, heal him like she's Steven Universe. And if you don't remember this scene, that's because it was a manga exclusive. I will never forgive them for taking this from me. Anyway, Sumi is a breath of fresh air. She isn't involved in the drama with the rest of the girls, so her moments allow the watcher to just relax and enjoy the cute girl without the harem shenanigans. Sumi also helps out Kazuya's character a lot too. Kazuya is very self-deprecating, so he gets sad very easily, but he doesn't always handle it well. He always just whines about how he doesn't know what to do to help Mizuhara instead of thinking things through like a functioning member of society. But Sumi is always there to lend an ear and help him work through his problems.
Man, it would be a shame if Sumi was just written out of the series for over a year. Glad that didn't happen. As you can see, Rent has a lot of really good characters, and I actually think the series balances them well. Obviously, Mizuhara is the main girl. But throughout the series, one of the other girls will insert herself into the plot, and Kazuya will interact with them for a little bit, and Chizuru is just nowhere to be found. But later, the plot with the other girl will be resolved, and Chizuru will come back, and Kazuya and her will interact for a little bit. Then she'll go away again, and then another girl will show up, and then just rinse repeat that until everyone's happy, and boom! You got a balanced harem. It really makes it feel like every girl gets a moment to shine, which a lot of harems actually don't do that, so I appreciate it here. While we're on the topic of positive things about Rent-A-Girlfriend, my favorite part about the anime is the soundtrack. There were moments in season 2 where I was just bobbing my head to the music, and I still remember some of the tracks from season 1, and that anime came out 3 years ago. And it isn't just the OST that is good either. See, each character gets a song that's sang by their voice actress. These songs came out in between seasons 1 and 2, so their songs weren't included, except for Sumi's and Mami's, who were used in season 2. Each song goes perfectly with the girls' personalities. Mizuhara's is beautiful and refined, Ruka's is annoying but also poppy, Sumi's is cute and has this nervous energy, and Mami's is the best. I don't know why, but they gave Mami a whole rap, and it's so good. When they use it in season 2, it just gives this perfect weight. Like, Kazuya turns around a corner, and Mami's just there, and then the bass drops. You know it's about to go down. Seriously. Go listen to this song right now. And while we're on the topic of music, how are the OPs? OP1. It's the Peggies, so it's good. OP2. It's okay. I like that they carried the little TikTok dance from the beginning. I hope they continue it with season 3. And how are the EDs? ED 1. It's pretty good, but I hate the innuendo that they do with the visuals. It fits with the show, but I wish it didn't. ED 2. I forgot about this one. It's Ruka's ED, and it describes her backstory pretty well. It's okay. ED 3, which I thought was ED 2. It's okay. Rent-A-Girlfriend as a whole has good characters, minus Kazuya, drama that hooks you in, and great music and visuals. So, with that being said, why do I keep complaining about it so much? At the beginning of this video, you would have thought that I hated this anime, but watching the video, you would think that I recommended it. Well, I do hate Rent-A-Girlfriend, and I do not recommend it. But all of my hate comes from reading the manga, not watching the anime. The anime is actually pretty alright, but the manga is one of the most frustrating things I have ever read. And I'll tell you all about it next time. That's right, we're doing a part 2, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Until then, sayonara.